Joining me now, Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, Democrat from California. She's a member of the House Homeland Security Committee. And Congresswoman, explain to me why this supplemental funding request will actually solve the problem at issue.
Well, the first issue is that the border security is working. In other words, aside from walls and fences that we've got, we've actually apprehending people. So as these people come across the border, we're grabbing them. So what happens there? We've got these children. The problem is that our detention centers, the places where we hold them until they have judicial review, aren't made for families. They're not made for young people, because traditionally that's not what we've had come across. And I've been dealing with these detention center issues for a long time on this committee. So one of the things would be to make sure that we have facilities that facilitate having youngsters, and because those are different than when you hold adults. And secondly, to have families, so that we can keep families who are coming across together also. So that's one of the biggest issues.
So some of the money would be to construct, let me just stop you there. Money would be to construct these kinds of facilities. Can that happen quickly enough to deal with the situation?
Well, certainly it has to. It's not that we have to construct them. It's that we might have to lease them, or we might have to find them, or we might have to reconfigure them. And so we need to do that, and we need to do that as quickly as possible. The other issue is that there are different needs for children than there are for adults. And so some of the monies would go to that. The other issue is that where they're coming across, we may need more Border Patrol, more people on that border to be able to get them. And then one of the laws that was passed in the last year of President George Bush, was that these children, unaccompanied minors, actually do get their day in court. They do get a judicial review. There are not enough judges, there are not enough places in which to get this judicial review done.
There's
and so
a remarkable,
part of the monies would be for that.
There's a remarkable backlog. This is a pretty astounding statistic. There are 375,000 pending immigration cases. This is immigration in general. There are 243 judges to deal with those cases, okay? So we're talking about a system that just take unaccompanied minors even out of the equation is a tremendously backlogged, overwhelmed system. Is the idea that some of this funding, and Senator John McCain has put forward a proposal, some of this funding goes to actually getting enough judges that you can process the legitimate claims these kids might have for asylum? Because it appears from what I've read reported by the UN and others, some of them might have asylum claims.
Actually, yes, because if there are guerrilla warfare, if there are militia who are taking these young people, let's say you're 14 or you're 12 and you're being taken as a child soldier, for example, those would be cases in which we wouldn't want to send these type of children back to home countries. But in order for us to know that, we have to do some investigation. We have to understand what part of that country are they coming from, what are their stories. We have to document this. So there would be some humanitarian asylum, some refugee asylum visas that would be available to them. In order to do that, we need to have the staff to do that.
Right.
We need to have a judge to rule, a court in which to put them in.
It strikes me, Congresswoman, that the ask is going to be on the other side for expedited deportations or amending to that 2008 law. We will look to see how that develops. Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, the Koch brothers.